Hi, I am Dr.Daneil Teeth. Whitening at home, I'm going to show you how to use just 2 ingredients to whiten your teeth. At home you don't need to go to the dentist and do this very expensive procedure. You also don't even need to buy those whitening strips. This remedy is going to cost you about $3 and it's super effective if your teeth are a bit stained like yellow from coffee tea, red wine, or just getting older. This will be a great solution after the recipe. I'm going to also talk about oil pulling, and also some fascinating information about leaky gums. You can actually have a situation where you're getting bacteria that goes into your gums, into your bloodstream. So that's going to be very important to learn about that if you want to make your teeth super white. There's 2 things you need to have. Number 1, you need baking soda. I found baking soda at the store for $1.79. This will add a certain texture to this paste to allow you to scrub your teeth and help remove the stain as well as plaque. It's gentle, it's non-abrasive. Number 2, you're going to need something called hydrogen peroxide. I recently found some for $160 for an entire bottle. Now it's very important that you don't get the wrong hydrogen peroxide. You want the one that says 3% or less. You do not want the one that's like 15% or 40%. That's going to be way too strong. And by the way, the main ingredient in these whitening strips that you buy online is hydrogen peroxide, but they charge you like $20, $30, $40 for these little strips. You don't need to do that. Then when you go to dentist, it's even more expensive, and they're using a very concentrated hydrogen peroxide, which is up into the 40s. The problem with that is, yes, it does work on making your teeth whiter, but that super high concentrated hydrogen peroxide on your gums with the ultraviolet or LED lights that they put at the same time, that intensifies. That chemical reaction can really mess with your gums and dehydrate your actual teeth to the point where now you have this sensation on your teeth that they hurt because the concentration is too high. Yes, it'll work a little faster, but you don't want to put that in your mouth. Here's what you're going to do. Get a little container and you're going to put 1 teaspoon of baking soda in the container. Then you're going to take the hydrogen peroxide, 3% or less, and you're only going to use 3 drops of it into this baking soda, and then 8 drops of water. You're going to mix it up really nice, and it's going to actually break up the bonds of the stain. The stain is a certain chain of molecules. Well, the oxygen will break that up and release this pigment from your teeth, causing you to have whiter teeth. This is why hydrogen peroxide is so important. Then you're going to mix it up, take your toothbrush, and gently polish the outside of your teeth, the inside of your teeth. This is also going to help any bacteria that you have as well. And it's also going to reduce the plaque formation. You're basically going to brush your teeth with this mixture for 1 to 2 minutes. Then you're going to rinse out your mouth very thoroughly. But because the concentration is less than 40% that you would see when you go to the dentist, you're going to have to do this a few times a week. I would recommend doing it 2 to 3 times a week for a few weeks to see the big change. But it's going to work. You will be amazed. And I do want you to comment down below when you see the results. The whole point of this is to do it safely and gradually. This way you won't damage your gums or the enamel on your teeth. That was simple. Now let's talk about oil pulling. You probably have heard this on the internet where people are taking coconut oil and they put it in their mouth and they kind of swish it around for a period of time, right? What is that doing? What is that all about? This is actually an ancient practice, and they didn't just use coconut oil back then. They used sesame seed oil, so you can do that too, but coconut oil is less bitter, and it's a more of a pleasant taste, and it will work because what you're going to do is you're going to take some coconut oil and you're going to keep it in there for 10 to 20 minutes. You're just going to keep swishing it around your mouth. Coconut oil is very high in something called lauric acid, which is a very powerful antimicrobial for bacteria, fungus, candida, and especially the microbe in your mouth that causes bad breath. And there was even a study in the Indian Journal of Dental Research showing this procedure as effective as prescription mouthwash in reducing gingivitis. Most people do it like 3 times a week. I want to talk about something even more interesting, the relationship between sugar or glucose and vitamin C. What I wanted to reveal about this is that glucose has a similar chemistry to vitamin C. They compete together. You probably heard of scurvy before. Scurvy is a disease that happened to sailors and other people way back in the day where they basically did not have enough vitamin C at that time. It wasn't even recognized. One thing the vitamin C does is support your collagen. When you're really deficient in vitamin C, you can get pink toothbrush because your gums will bleed if you consume a lot of sugar or chew gum a lot. The vitamin C that you're taking, or from the foods, the glucose will block the vitamin C from going in. Sugar depletes vitamin C from the body. It'll definitely show. Upe as one of the first signs in the gums. You know you're flossing your teeth and all of a sudden it bleeds easily. That's an early sign. The cells in the tissue of your gums are no longer like tight. They're kind of loose, so you have these holes very similar to having leaky gut or even leakiness in your arteries that would make a pathogen enter that area and get into the body, into the blood. I don't know if you know this fact, but they've isolated dental bacteria in the playing of arteries and also in the playing in the brain. And Alzheimer's, we want to keep the bacteria from going into the body through the mouth. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. If you like this video, PLZ subscribe, like and comment.